Let me tell you something. Becoming a millionaire in a year is more possible than you think. Not just for someone else, not just for the lucky or the talented, but for you. The challenge is not the goal itself. The challenge is whether you're willing to grow into the person who can achieve it. We don't get what we wish for, we get what we deserve. And what we deserve comes from our habits, our discipline, and the choices we make every single day. Success is not some magic formula. It's not reserved for the chosen few. It follows a simple principle. Small efforts consistently applied lead to extraordinary results. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day, but they underestimate what they can do in a year. They believe massive success requires massive effort all at once. But the truth? It's the small disciplines repeated daily that create a tidal wave of results. You want to make $1 million in the next 12 months? Let's break it down. $1 million in a year is about $2,739 per day. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a lot, but is it? If you have a product that makes you $50 per sale, you only need to make 55 sales a day. If you have a service that brings in $500 per client, that's just 6 clients a day. It's all about perspective. The real problem isn't whether it's possible. The real problem is whether you're willing to develop the skills and the mindset to make it happen. Because here's the secret: money follows value. The more value you bring to the marketplace, the more money you attract. Not once in a while, not just when you feel like it, but daily. The key is discipline. Success is buried in your daily routine. How you spend your mornings, how you invest your time, how you think, how you act. All of it determines your results. The question is, what are you doing today to get closer to your goal? Most people let fear hold them back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish. But let me remind you, fear is just a signal. It means you're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly where the magic happens. If you want to achieve something you've never had, you've got to become someone you've never been. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Your first attempts won't be perfect, and that's okay. Progress is messy, but it's necessary. If you take bold action today and every day after that, in 1 year, you won't just have more money, you'll have more confidence, more knowledge, and more power over your own life. The formula is simple: dream big, start small, move fast, stay consistent. 1 year from today, you'll look back and realize you were never limited by your circumstances, only by your mindset. And once you change that, everything changes. Success is not built overnight, nor is it the result of one massive action. It is the product of small, consistent disciplines repeated over time. Every great achievement, every financial breakthrough, and every major transformation begins with the seemingly insignificant choices we make every day. The challenge is that most people underestimate the power of small habits, and as a result, they overlook the very things that could lead them to extraordinary success. Consider this: a small action repeated daily creates a compounding effect. Just as a single drop of water can over time carve through rocks, daily disciplines shape your destiny. It's not about doing something huge once in a while. It's about doing the right things consistently. Success is hidden in your routine, in the choices you make when no one is watching. Take the example of personal finance. Someone who sets aside just $10 a day might not feel like they're making a significant impact on their wealth, but over a year, that's $3,650. Add some smart investments and compound interest, and that small habit turns into a fortune over time. The same principle applies to health, relationships, business, and every area of life. Most people fail not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they lack consistency. They start strong, fueled by motivation, but when the excitement wears off, they stop. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful keep going, even when they don't feel like it. They understand that discipline is more reliable than motivation. Motivation is temporary, it comes and goes. Discipline, however, is a commitment to daily actions, regardless of mood, circumstances, or setbacks. One of the best examples of this is in business. Let's say you're trying to build $1 million enterprise. You don't get there by making one lucky sale or landing one big client. You get there by showing up every day, making calls, improving your product, learning new skills, marketing consistently, and staying focused on the goal. One small effort alone may not seem like much, but added up over 365 days, it creates unstoppable momentum. The truth is, discipline is not about making life harder, it's about making success inevitable. When you create strong habits, you remove the need to rely on willpower alone. You don't wake up every morning debating whether or not to take action. You just do it because it's part of who you are. Look at top athletes, musicians, or business leaders. They don't rise to greatness by doing something once in a while. They practice daily. They refine their craft, push past obstacles, and keep showing up. A basketball player doesn't train only when he feels inspired. A best-selling author doesn't write only when creativity strikes. They do it because they've committed to the process. The good news is that success isn't about perfection. You don't need to get everything right all the time. What matters is that you keep going. A missed day, a mistake, or a setback doesn't erase your progress unless you let it. What separates winners from the rest is their ability to get back on track quickly. The key to success is making small productive habits a non-negotiable part of your life. Whether it's reading 10 pages a day, making 5 sales calls, saving a little extra money, or practicing your craft for an hour, the impact will compound over time. And at first, you might not see immediate results. And that's where most people give up. They think this isn't working and quit too soon. But success doesn't happen in a straight line. It builds beneath the surface until one day the results explode. That's the power of small disciplines. Day by day, they make you unstoppable. $1 million in a year sounds like a massive, almost unreachable goal to many people. When they hear that number, their first reaction is often disbelief or doubt. They think it's only possible for celebrities, tech geniuses, or people who get lucky. But the truth is, when you break it down into smaller, manageable steps, it becomes far more achievable than you ever imagined. The problem isn't that the goal is too big, it's that most people don't know how to approach it correctly. $1 million in a year sounds like a massive, almost unreachable goal to many people. When they hear that number, their first reaction is often disbelief or doubt. They think it's only possible for celebrities, tech geniuses, or people who get lucky. But the truth is, when you break it down into smaller, manageable steps, it becomes far more achievable than you ever imagined. The problem isn't that the goal is too big, it's that most people don't know how to approach it correctly. The secret to achieving any massive goal is to reverse engineer it. Instead of focusing on the overwhelming number, break it down into daily, weekly, and monthly targets. $1 million a year is approximately $83,333 per month, $19,230 per week, and about $2,739 per day. When you look at it like this, it shifts from an impossible dream to a clear objective with a logical path forward. The key is to figure out how to generate that amount consistently through a strategy that aligns with your skills, opportunities, and market demand. Let's take an example. If you have a product that sells for $100, you only need to sell 28 units per day to hit your goal. If you offer a service for $1,000 per client, you need just 3 clients a day. If you create a digital product that sells for $50, you need to sell about 55 copies a day. Suddenly, the goal feels more realistic. The question shifts from can I make $1 million in a year to how can I sell this number of products or services daily. This mindset shift is critical because it forces you to focus on the how rather than the if. Most people stop at it's impossible. But when you break the goal down into practical steps, your mind starts searching for solutions instead of excuses. You begin to strategize. How can you increase sales? Can you improve your marketing? Can you leverage social media, partnerships, or advertising to scale your reach? Every step you take builds momentum. The reason why so many people never achieve big goals is that they don't break them into digestible parts. They look at the big picture and get overwhelmed. It's like trying to eat an entire meal in one bite. You'll choke. But if you take it one bite at a time, you can finish it with ease. The same principle applies to financial success. Another crucial element is consistency. Once you have broken down your goal, you must commit to hitting those smaller targets every single day. If you only take action when you feel motivated, you'll never get there. The people who succeed are the ones who build daily, repeatable systems that guarantee progress. Whether that means making a certain number of sales calls, launching ads, creating content, or networking with potential clients, the key is to set up habits that keep you moving forward. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for perfect conditions. They tell themselves, I'll start when I have more experience, or I'll try once I have the right connections. But the truth is, the best time to start is always now. The sooner you begin, the sooner you can adjust, learn, and refine your strategy. Breaking down your goal also allows you to track progress effectively. Instead of feeling lost or unsure if you're on the right path, you can measure your daily and weekly results. If you're behind, you can adjust. If something isn't working, you can tweak it. Success isn't about having a perfect plan from the start. It's about adapting and improving as you go. The biggest lesson here is that no goal is too big when you break it down. $1 million isn't some magical, unattainable number. It's simply the result of a series of small, intentional actions. When you focus on the process, commit to daily execution, and refine your approach along the way, you'll realize that hitting that $1 million mark is not just possible, it's inevitable. Money follows value. It always has and it always will. The amount of money you earn is directly proportional to the amount of value you bring to the marketplace. This is a fundamental law of success, and once you truly understand it, you will never look at wealth the same way again. Most people spend their lives chasing money, but that's the wrong approach. Money is simply a byproduct of the value you provide to others. If you want to earn more, don't focus on the money itself. Focus on how much value you can create. Solve bigger problems, serve more people, and improve the quality of what you offer. When you do that, the money naturally follows. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals in the world. They didn't just wake up one day with millions in their bank accounts. They got there by identifying problems that needed solutions, creating value, and delivering it consistently. Jeff Bezos didn't become one of the richest people in the world because he focused on making money. He focused on making shopping easier, faster, and more convenient. Elon Musk didn't build billion-dollar companies by chasing profits. He focused on solving massive problems in transportation, energy, and space exploration. The wealth they generated was simply a result of the value they created. The key to financial success is to ask yourself, how can I bring more value to others? The more value you provide, the more people are willing to pay for it. If you're struggling financially, the first question you should ask isn't, how can I make more money? Instead, ask, how can I make myself more valuable? Becoming more valuable doesn't always mean working harder. It means working smarter. It means improving your skills, expanding your knowledge, and finding ways to serve people better. The marketplace rewards those who can deliver solutions efficiently, effectively, and at scale. If you can do that, your income has no limit. Let's look at an example. A person working a minimum wage job earns a low salary because their role provides limited value that can easily be replaced. But a top surgeon earns hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions, because their skill is rare, in high demand, and provides a life-changing service. The same principle applies in business. If you're selling a basic, undifferentiated product that anyone can copy, you'll struggle to make significant income. But if you create a product or service that delivers exceptional value, people will gladly pay a premium for it. The beauty of this concept is that anyone can increase their value. You don't need to be born into wealth, have an elite education, or come from a privileged background. You simply need to commit to learning, improving, and offering more than you currently do. The internet has made this easier than ever. You can acquire new skills, start businesses, and reach customers worldwide without massive startup costs. The key is to identify what people need and find a way to provide it in a way that's better, faster, or more efficient than what's currently available. Another important aspect of value creation is scalability. Some people exchange their time for money, which limits their earning potential. But the most successful individuals find ways to create value that isn't tied to their personal time. This could mean building a business, developing a digital product, writing a book, or creating an online course. Something that allows them to reach thousands or even millions of people without having to work one-on-one with each of them. At the end of the day, wealth is not about luck or talent, it's about value. The more valuable you become, the more money will naturally flow to you. If you want to make $1 million in a year, the real question isn't, how do I get rich? It's, how can I provide $1 million worth of value to the world? When you focus on that, success becomes inevitable. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to success. It keeps people stuck in their comfort zones, prevents them from taking action, and convinces them that failure is something to be avoided at all costs. But the truth is, fear is not a stop sign, it's a signal. It's a sign that you are stepping into unfamiliar territory, that you are growing, that you are pushing beyond the limits of who you used to be. And that is exactly where success happens. Most people let fear control them. They hesitate to start a business because they're afraid of losing money. They avoid speaking up in meetings because they're afraid of looking foolish. They don't take risks because they're afraid of failing. But here's the thing. Every successful person has felt the same fear. The difference is they learned to act in spite of it. They understood that fear is not something to eliminate, it's something to use. Fear is a natural response when you're doing something new or challenging. It's your brain's way of protecting you from the unknown. But in most cases, the fear you feel is not a real danger. It's just discomfort. And discomfort is not a bad thing. In fact, it's necessary for growth. Every time you push through fear, you expand your comfort zone. What once seemed terrifying becomes normal. What once felt impossible becomes easy. Think about any skill you've ever learned. The first time you tried to ride a bike, you were probably scared of falling. But you didn't let that stop you. You kept going, wobbled a bit, fell a few times, and eventually you got the hang of it. Now riding a bike is second nature. The same principle applies to business, investing, public speaking, networking, and every other skill that leads to success. At first it's scary, but with practice it becomes normal. The key is to shift your mindset. Instead of seeing fear as a warning to stop, see it as proof that you are on the right path. If you're not feeling any fear, it probably means you're not challenging yourself enough. Growth only happens when you step outside your comfort zone. The most successful people in the world are not fearless. They just refuse to let fear dictate their choices. One of the best ways to overcome fear is through action. Fear thrives in indecision. The longer you hesitate, the stronger your fear grows. But when you take action, even if it's a small step, fear starts to lose its power. Imagine you're standing on the edge of a cold swimming pool, dreading the shock of the water. The longer you stand there, the worse it seems. But the moment you jump in, you realize it wasn't as bad as you thought. The same is true for anything in life. Action kills fear. Another powerful strategy is to reframe failure. Most people fear failure because they see it as proof that they're not good enough. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every mistake, every setback, every rejection is teaching you something valuable. The people who succeed are the ones who fail the most because they learn the most. They don't take failure personally. They see it as feedback. If you look at the most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and artists, you'll see a long history of failures before they reach the top. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking creativity. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Imagine if they had let fear stop them. The world would have never seen their greatness. The truth is, fear never completely disappears. Every time you set a bigger goal, every time you take on a new challenge, fear will be there. But the more you face it, the more courage you build. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else is more important than fear. Your dreams, your goals, your future, they are all on the other side of fear. The only way to get there is to stop waiting for the fear to go away and start moving forward despite it. Most people spend their lives waiting. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or a sign that they are finally ready. But the truth is, the perfect moment does not exist. If you keep waiting for everything to align perfectly before you start, you will wait forever. Success does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who take action, even when things are not ideal. One of the biggest reasons people delay their dreams is because they believe they need to have everything figured out first. They think they need more knowledge, more experience, or more resources before they can begin. But in reality, you don't need to have all the answers. You just need to start. The best way to learn is by doing. Action leads to clarity, and progress comes from movement, not from endless planning. Think about how most successful businesses and ideas started. They didn't begin perfectly. Apple's first computers were built in a garage. Amazon started as an online bookstore in a small room. Facebook was just a simple website for college students. None of these companies started with a perfect product or ideal conditions. But they took action, learned from their mistakes, and improved over time. If they had waited until everything was perfect, they would have never gotten off the ground. The same principle applies to personal growth. If you want to get in shape, you don't need the best workout plan or the perfect gym membership. You just need to start exercising today. If you want to build wealth, you don't need to wait for the perfect investment opportunity. You need to start managing your money better now. If you want to start a business, you don't need to wait until you have the perfect strategy. You just need to take the first step and adjust as you go. The biggest obstacle to success is overthinking. People get stuck in analysis paralysis, constantly researching, planning, and preparing, but never actually doing. They convince themselves that they need more time, more education, or more confidence before they can begin. But confidence doesn't come before action. It comes from action. The more you do, the more you learn, and the more confident you become. Fear often disguises itself as preparation. People tell themselves they are just being cautious, that they are waiting for the right time, but in reality, they are just afraid of failure. The truth is, failure is part of the process. No one gets everything right the first time. The only way to improve is through experience, and experience comes from taking action. Another reason people wait is because they compare themselves to others. They see successful people and think, I could never do that. But what they don't realize is that those successful people started just like everyone else, uncertain, unprepared, and inexperienced. The difference is they didn't let that stop them. They started where they were, with what they had, and figured things out along the way. If you want to succeed, you must adopt the mindset of imperfect action. Instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, take the first step and improve as you go. Every great achievement begins with a simple decision to start. You will make mistakes, you will face setbacks, but each challenge will teach you something valuable. Life is short, and time is the one resource you can never get back. Every day you spend waiting is a day you could have spent growing, learning, and moving closer to your goals. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It's the willingness to take action despite uncertainty. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The sooner you start, the sooner you will build momentum, and the sooner you will see results. Success is not about having the perfect plan. It's about having the courage to begin. One of the biggest truths about success is that you cannot do it alone. No matter how skilled, motivated, or hardworking you are, your success will always be limited by the quality of the people you surround yourself with. The people in your circle influence your mindset, your habits, your decisions, and ultimately your results. If you want to become a millionaire in a year, you need to align yourself with people who think big, take massive action, and push you to level up. Most people fail to reach their potential because they are stuck in an environment that does not support their growth. They surround themselves with negative, small-minded individuals who constantly complain, make excuses, and reinforce the belief that success is impossible. Whether they realize it or not, these influences shape their thinking and limit what they believe is possible. If everyone around you is struggling financially and believes that wealth is only for the lucky few, you will start to absorb that mindset. But if you surround yourself with high achievers who are constantly pushing themselves, taking risks, and finding new ways to create value, your mindset will expand and your expectations for yourself will rise. There's a famous saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This means that if you spend most of your time around people who think small, play it safe, and avoid challenges, you will adopt those habits. But if you surround yourself with people who think big, take action, and strive for excellence, you will naturally start to adopt their mindset and behaviors. Success is contagious, and when you spend time with winners, their energy, confidence, and strategies rub off on you. The right network provides not just motivation, but also opportunities. Many of the biggest business deals, partnerships, and breakthroughs happen not because of skill alone, but because of connections. The right person can introduce you to a mentor, connect you with an investor, or open the door to a life-changing opportunity. But these connections don't happen by accident. You have to be intentional about building your network. One of the best ways to upgrade your circle is to seek out people who are already where you want to be. This could mean joining mastermind groups, attending business events, finding a mentor, or engaging in communities of high achievers. The internet has made this easier than ever. You can connect with successful entrepreneurs, investors, and thought leaders through online communities, social media, and networking events. The key is to put yourself in environments where success is the norm, not the exception. It's also important to limit your exposure to negativity. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life completely, but it does mean being selective about how much time and energy you invest in relationships that don't support your growth. If someone is constantly doubting your dreams, discouraging your ambitions, or filling your mind with negativity, you must set boundaries. Protect your mindset as if it were your most valuable asset, because it is. Another crucial part of building the right network is contributing value. Many people make the mistake of trying to connect with successful individuals only to ask for favors. But the fastest way to build strong relationships is to focus on what you can give, not just what you can get. Offer your skills, share valuable insights, and be a source of encouragement and support. When you bring value to others, they will naturally want to help you in return. Mentorship is another game changer. Learning from someone who has already achieved what you want can save you years of trial and error. A good mentor can give you insights, strategies, and shortcuts that you would never figure out on your own. They have already made the mistakes, learned the lessons, and developed the systems that lead to success. By following their guidance, you can accelerate your progress dramatically. At the end of the day, success is not just about what you know, it's about who you know and who you learn from. The people you surround yourself with will either push you forward or hold you back. If you want to make $1 million in a year, you must be intentional about surrounding yourself with winners, thinkers, and doers. The right network will inspire you, challenge you, and open doors you never even knew existed.